Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. I'm in the book, got some good stuff for you. Man, let's go. I'm ready. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them, I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking is a way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together, and I ask the question. You know you will when I'm through. That's what I do. A person, it's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. Let's go. A person who knows not, that they know not, is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I am the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. Right thinkers, I'm in the book. You hear me talk about Shitat Netta. I'm explaining it to you again. I'm breaking it down for you again. You get, hopefully, it'll be old to some, new to a few. That's what I do. Just try to enlighten you. Let's go. This is called the spiritual culture and the purpose of life, according to the Shitat Netta philosophy. Okay? Let's talk about it. You heard this phrase before because this is an ancient Egyptian proverb. Men and women are to become God-like. Like meaning understanding, becoming conscious. We don't have the godly powers that he had to create the nature, but we have everything that we have in us. And once we become conscious of that, that's becoming God conscious or God-like in human form, in the flesh. Watch this. Through what? How could you become God-like? Perfect question. Now here's the answer. Through a life of righteousness and virtue, in the cultivation of the spirit, through scientific knowledge, meaning study, learning, acquire. And once you do that, when I give it to you, practice and show bodily discipline, lower nature control. Your men, women too. It's okay to have pleasure, but that shouldn't be the end all be all. That shouldn't be what motivates you and drive you to deal with a female. Most men, they got a purpose, the reason why they're dealing with you ladies. Understand that, and either you put them in check or end it. Why? If you know the intention and they ain't good, admirable, stop it, shut it down. Simple, moving on. But women, take control of your body. Oh, well, then again, y'all think it's a meal ticket. That thing between your legs is for reproduction purposes. It also for pleasure. We seem to want to use it more for pleasure and doing the pleasure reproduction. That's backwards. If you want to have pleasures, protect yourself. I ain't saying don't. Some of y'all might want to practice abstinence, but protect yourself. Why? You don't want to ruin your life up because of a few seconds or minutes of pleasure. But now y'all taking them pills, y'all go for hours. But that don't stop the transmitted diseases or pregnancy unwanted if you're not protected. That's enough of that. Get out of there. I ain't got time for that. But life lessons, again, I'm tired of seeing the same thing over and over. We ain't learning lessons at all. Life experience is to teach you a lesson. Our spirits have been here over and over again. Why? Because the person that it was in didn't get the memo. So they got to keep recycling. Life lessons to get you what? Out of the damn loop of what? Reincarnation. Knowledge of self would do that. Our ancients knew that. The highest form of joy, peace. And I just gave a lesson about contentment. Half of y'all don't even know what the hell contentment means. To be happy and satisfied with what you got. Not worrying about what you don't have. Not worrying about what you're going to get. Contentment is being in the moment. What you got is what you got. You came into the world with nothing. So whatever you got is a plus. Because you're going to leave out here. You ain't taking none of it with you. So enjoy it while you got it. That's fine. But understand. Be happy with yourself. Because that's all you got. That's all you really need. Once you realize that, you'll be just fine. Watch this. Now, these are qualities that can be obtained when the true meaning of life is discovered. I've never been content. Never had joy. Never peaceful. None of that. I got none of that. Why? It don't come to those people. We didn't know that. I didn't know that. I don't know if he did, but I sure didn't. Now that I know, man, that's a waste of my time. If you serving your higher self, I see why people go to church. I see why people follow religions. Because if you sell out to that concept and follow it, you'll benefit. Simple as that. Why? I'm telling you the same thing with right thinking philosophy. Only gonna work if you practice it. That's it. That's my hook. That's all I got. That's all everybody got. Ain't no different. So no, and it's not. I thought up something. No, she taught Netta. That's what I got it from. I just put my twist to it. But understand this. They knew what they were talking about. Watch this. When the human being comes in harmony with life, we call it synchronicity. Some people call it walking with God in God's mercy. Or whatever you call it. But when a human being is in harmony with his or her life, then it is possible for them to reflect and watch this, meditate. I get all credit to meditation. Why? How is you going to get to God? I know that way. Why? Y'all don't profess meditating. I love meditating. Practicing yoga over 10 years. So I'm good at meditating, trust me. But when you're able to meditate upon the human condition, meaning your everyday life, I self-reflect daily, okay? And when you realize your own human limitations of the worldly pursuits, if you chasing things of the world, you chasing the wrong thing. That's all. We've been saying that for a while. Why? When there is peace and harmony in one's life, that means she found what? Contentment in the moment. That's where you find peace. If you agitated, if you worried, all that, you ain't gonna be at peace. That's the difference. And watch this. When there is peace in your life, a human being can now, you ready? Now you can focus and practice on any of the varied disciplines designated as what we call she taught Netta philosophy, okay? And that's promoting his or her evolution, where? Towards the ultimate goal in life. You hear me talk about this all the time. You ready? You ready? Spiritual enlightenment. We call it Nihas. Google, they ain't gonna get the definition for it. It's our word. They don't understand it. But I can tell you what it means. Spiritual enlightenment. Simple. But spiritual enlightenment is what? What's the definition of spiritual enlightenment? Spiritual enlightenment is the awakening of a human being to what? To the awareness of what? The transcendental. That's God. Essence. God. Which what? Binds the total universe and all things that's in it, in which is what? Eternal and immutable. God don't work on our time. Eternity has no time. Immortality has no time. We set time for us. When we leave here, time don't exist. We create time for us. Understand that, another lesson, but that's the concept. But watch this. But in this self-discovery of what? When you discover you and God are one, when you make that decision, that's called a mystical experience, enlightenment, anointing. But when you make the discovery, it's what? It's a sobering and ecstatic realization. That means it's that you get goosebumps. Okay, you got something going on, your whole body just tingles and freaks. That's realization of what? That the human being is now one with that which is transcendental, God. There's a feeling. I call it a mental orgasm, spiritual orgasm, because it feels so good. And when you can capture that feeling, when you can live in that state, that's being blessed out. That's being the highest Christian concept, highest Islamic concept, what? The highest right thinking concept, same thing. When you reach that, however you reach it, I don't care. I just know my way. And that's the goal for all human beings, not just right thinkers. But the goal is to know thyself. But the work you got to put in would make the difference. That's when the separation starts. We all start down here. There's a whole bunch up here. That's for a reason. Moving on. And all your goal is personally to get to the top. I could care less what Tom, Dick, and Harry, where they at, could care less. When I got to the top of that mountain, when I got to God, I had a buddy. Ain't nothing better to see than what? The face of a good friend. When I got where I got to, I saw the face of a good friend. We've been working together ever since. That's what it's all about. When you find you can do work now. You can go to work for who, God? I'm a missionary. I got my ministry. This is my ministry, as my pastor tell me. But yeah, I'm doing what I call God's work. I thought you were the preacher. No, that don't make me a preacher. I'm a teacher. Sage. Okay? I teach and I live what I teach. With this realization in your own personal life, there comes what? Great joy. If you haven't felt that, you don't have a clue what I'm talking about. You can't even envision. Why? Because it's about experiencing. God have to be experienced. God is not the concept. No, he have to be experienced. And every individual can do that with the work that you put in. You control that dynamic. Getting to God is all up to you. I'm just trying to point you in the right direction. I know him. So, and my man, he right at the street. Yeah, right down there. Yeah, he down there. I'm trying to help you out. But with this, you talking about great joy. A lot of us have no idea. Oh, they think great joy is getting that new car, new girl, new house. That's great. No. Please understand that. That's happy. That's just happy. That ain't happiness. That's just happy. For the moment, you're happy. That ain't joy. Joy is when you become conscious of who you are. That peace of mind is when you don't worry about a whole bunch of nonsense no more. And it gives you what? Power because of that experience of what? Fullness of life. And to realize the purpose of your life. Where? Doing your time here on earth. Sorry about that. I get excited. Yeah. This should all be sinking in. It should all be making sense. You should understand what I'm saying to you. And if this is what you're here for, I'm giving it to you for that reason. Watch this. Now, the lotus flower is the symbol for Shita Netta. Why? Quick lesson, ain't even written down here, but I got the concept. The lotus flower is a symbol of Shita Netta because it grows in the muck and the mire and the funkiest, dirtiest place. Sound like the hood, okay? But guess what? Because it's good, no matter where it's at, when it open up, it only open up to God. That's what we as spiritual beings should be aspiring to do. Worship God, no matter what the circumstances is. They worship a dung beetle that eats and lives in dung. They gave it credit and respect. Why? For what it does. If it wasn't for them, we have a big problem. Okay, they are what garbage men of the Serengeti, another lesson. But everything is systematically woven together to fit perfectly. That's conscious. We call God all conscious. Why? Everything here is. So he had this all figured out already. Sorry, I get excited. When I'm getting to that God mode, I get a little amped up. But the lotus flower grows in the worst place, but it's the best. And guess what? It's untouchable. It's unstainable by the dirt and the muck of mine. It won't touch it. God got it covered. That's the concept. And they took concepts, symbols, and used them to manifest to show we can emulate that. And that's what they showed you, how to become what? One with nature, one with God. In every aspect, everybody used some of the stuff that they put out. Moving on. But I can wrap this up. But the lotus flower is the symbol, and it represents what? What's this? Lotus flower, the symbol, Shita Neta, meaning the turning toward God, always upward. You see me doing this all the time, right? See me doing this. Everything is that way. And the purpose of life, you have turned toward the light of what? Truth. God is truth. God is all that. Yeah. Those are all acronyms. All those are symbols to say God. But once you yourself experience it, that's all that counts. Now God got another one. Why? Now you know him. Your job is to serve him or not. You can't claim ignorance. Once I give you the information, once I give you knowledge of him, you can't claim ignorance. That take away the nonsense, okay? Now, she taught Netta. Now, I was just talking to my mother-in-law yesterday, and I was in the book studying, and she called. So we talking. I'm saying, Mom, you know what she taught Netta is? What? Who? What? Okay. She, S-H-E, female. I love to play on the words, but break it down. She what? She taught what? You about the Netta. Who's Netta? God. She taught Netta. See where I'm going with this? And she said, oh, I'll break it down a little more. Now, we have established that the ancient Egyptians were African people, a.k.a. black, who lived in northeastern quadrant. And Masons, I ain't going there today, northeast quadrant on the continent of Africa. They were descendants of the Nubians, who had themselves originated from the further south into the heart of Africa at the what they call the Great Lakes region, the sources of what? The Nile. When the Nile begins, they created a vast civilization and culture, earlier than any other society in known history. I ain't giving that argument, ain't got time for that. I'm teaching. And organized a nation that based on the concepts, you hear that? Based on the concepts of balance. Maya. Just want to let you know. Whenever I hear balance, I go right to Maya. Why? They're indirectly saying Maya. They're just saying balance because Maya represents balance. They don't know that. Okay? That's the origin of balance. How about that? In order as well as spiritual enlightenment. Knowledge of God. They gave you the information. They let you understand it. So you had no excuse. You didn't have to believe in God. These ancient African people called their land Kemet. Egypt is from the Greeks. Like that white man. You can tell him what your name is, he gonna call you something else. I don't allow that. I don't allow that from no white person. Call me when I tell you my name is, or I'm not gonna answer. How about I call you out your name? See? Remember, fair is giving or taking what somebody else give or take from you. That's fair. If what you do to me, I do to you, you don't like it, tough. That's how I operate. Okay, give you what you give me. Simple. I call it the mirror. Kemet, they call the land Kemet. And before that, Akibalam. Okay? Means paradise. Okay? Y'all call it the garden, all that nonsense. We knew who we was. We told you who the hell we was. You gonna call us something else. Egypt meant birth race, black people. How about that? They indirectly called us niggas a long time ago. How about that? Okay? Black, burnt face, Chris, whatever. It merged into niggas. Okay? And soon after, developing their well-ordered society. They created, they adapted it, and for thousands of years, we ain't come close to what they did as a people, that they created a civilization. They began to realize that the world is full of wonders. But also that life is fleeting. They didn't live long, okay? And that there must be what? Something more to the human experience. In the physical flesh, you have an opportunity to experience the things, all the stuff that we call, you have fun. Why? You're going to pass right on through, okay? For you, it's time and then, no, we age, yeah, but eternity could care less, okay? If your spirit gets on that train, you good to go. Other than that, you're going to keep coming back here playing this game. This is hell. Some people like it. Okay? Hell ain't always bad. No. Don't get it misunderstood. You create that. Obviously, you like being here. Why? You ain't trying to get up out of here. Getting up out of here is getting on yourself. That's how. So if you ain't trying to do that, you like it here. Let me make this lesson up. I see the clock. I haven't got talking too much. I ain't got nothing done. Sorry about that. But they developed spiritual system, not a belief system, not a religious system, a spiritual system. And everybody who counted them said they were the most spiritual people they ever encountered. They put God first. Right now, we put material things first. That's hell. That's here. And some people like material. Okay, get rich, all the money. That don't make him a better. He's the worst piece of crap I ever seen. If you just look at this guy, this is the richest man in the world. He don't need to do nothing but yeah. You ain't doing nothing for nobody, dog. But you the richest man. You want everybody to praise you, but you ain't doing nothing for nobody but yourself. See, that's how they get rich. Okay. In the spiritual system with our ancient, it wasn't about that. It was about getting to God. Why? Because this life is over. That's where you wanted to go. No matter how much money you had, no matter how much money you didn't have, you still gonna leave here one way or another. Moving on. And with knowledge of self, you won't come back. Without that, you'll be right back. Simple as that. And watch this. They developed a spiritual systems that were designed. Watch this. They had a system that was designed to allow all human beings, watch this, to fully understand the nature of this secret being, the hidden one, Amun, the netter, who is the essence of all creation. They knew that. They knew that. So they called this spiritual system Shita Netter. I call it right thinking. Same thing. Same philosophy. Only thing different, the stories are about my life. That's it. So let me wrap this up for you. And here's the picture of Shita Netter. I will take you to the next page, but I ain't got time. Next lesson, I'm going to show you how they all tie it together. Remember the headdress lesson? I got to bring that back because that's the signification of the God and goddess concept. You recognize them by their headgear. I wear different hats. Always. Okay, keep me here. Depending what I need to do with them. Okay? Depending on what I'm doing. That's my teaching hat. That's my street hat, and I got my other Kango down there, my cool hat. So there's all different identities that I slide into whenever hat I got on. That's what I'm under. Okay, my thinking cap. That's what it's called. Cover the dome. But I just showed you a picture of what they call Shita Netter. Shita means secret. She's teaching you the secret of who? God. Netter means divinity, God. She taught you about God. Why? Because he's hidden. You need to be taught. You need to be taught about God. Don't believe in God. That's the difference. And with that, I'm going to go. I'm going to end it right here. I'm going to stop right now. I want to tell you about, I'm going to get this Netter thing right in quick. Netter. Who is Netter? You hear me say Netter? The Commission religion. Netter is the symbol. It's like a flag. See that right there? That represents God. When you see that, that represents God. And with the next lesson coming up, you see here, this is God. These are all emanations of God. And they all got what? Different headdress, because they all got different aspects. But guess what? They all are part of you. Just want to give a quick heads up. Let me wrap this up, this lesson. Now they tell you the symbol, Netter, is spelled N-T-R. Okay? Take the vowels out. The symbol of a Netter was described. Remember, no graven image and all that. We knew that. We gave him an identity. But we knew that that flag meant, watch this, everything is symbolic, but there's a meaning behind the symbolism. That's what you had to understand. That's the esoteric meaning. Everybody sees the exact first stuff, but you know what it means. Simple. That's the esoteric, what they call the hidden or the true meaning of this symbol that they're showing you. Sorry. The term Netter, or Netter, comes from our ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic language, okay? They spoke in hieroglyphic. That was the language. There was no words, okay? Now, which did not record its vowels. Sometimes you see them written out, but the natural way, no vowels in there, okay? Like the German writing, you see K, Z, everything, ain't no vowels in there. All right. But however, the term survives in the Coptic language as Nutar, Nutar. The same Coptic meaning, divine force or something powerful. God. You can define it any way you want. It still comes back to the same thing. Okay. Now, it's sustaining power applies to the present as it did in ancient times. It's the same it was then, it's the same now. What's this? God has been God since he's been God. The blood of Jesus, still the blood of Jesus as far as the Christian concerned. I get the concept. I understand the symbolism and the metaphor philosophy. Y'all just think it's literal. That is the dumbest thing I ever heard. It is a symbol composed of, God was a symbol composed of a wooden staff that was wrapped with stripes of fabric, like a mummy. They say God goes in the coffin. All the physical body will go in the coffin. They know that, okay? But like a mummy, and the strips alternated in color. Yellow for the sun, green for the vegetation, the earth, and blue for the sky. They had all that symbolically laid out. I'm breaking it down for you because they didn't need to be brought down. They knew it like that way. Okay, the mummy and Commission spirituality, need this, understand this, is understood to be what? The dead. They know that's a body. They know ain't no life in the body. The spirit that left the body. When the spirit passes its judgment day, they thought it would come back to the body. That's where I had to put a code. Why? I gotta get off. Why? This is my stop. I ain't riding it. Why? I know when to get off. I got my own concept, my own views. So, and guess what? When you recognize you was wrong, you correct it and you move on. That's when they stop mummifying bodies. They know that philosophy wasn't what they thought. Okay, but the idea is, but the dead, but resurrected divinity, okay? The spirit comes back to the body, it's going to come back to life. So the nature is actually what? Every human being who does not really die. Ignorance. Death scared the hell out of y'all. I say y'all because I'm no longer ignorant. I used to be scared of death too. It's normal. Why? That's what they put it there for. If you knew you couldn't die, if you knew a whole bunch of stuff that's true, you wouldn't freak out about that. Why? The physical body, like a sheep, is like clothing for the spirit. That's why the serpent is used. Why? He sheds skin. You just keep on going. And in life, when the physical body goes, we're going to shed it and keep on going too. That's why they used it symbolically. They understood that. Now you get the concept. Hopefully you'll get a little tidbits I'm throwing to you. But watch this. But it goes to live where? On in a different form. Death in this world with the doorway to the afterlife. Y'all call it heaven. You can't go to heaven alive. You got to die to go to heaven. How you going to go somewhere and you don't want to fit the criteria to get you there? Living right will get you there. The body's going to die whether you like it or not. It don't mean a thing. But it's what you do while you're in the physical body. I'm trying to get you, and that's what they practice daily. Further, the resurrected spirit of every human being. Say it again. The resurrected spirit of every human being is the same divinity. We all belong to him. He wants it back. Everything he threw out, he wants it back. Hey, you can experience like, hey, well, you experience, yeah, but bring back my spirit. And the only way that's going to happen is you live a righteous, virtuous life here on earth. Practice Mayat. Why? Because she's the criteria. He said, Mayat, you check them before they come to me. I trust your judgment. Hello? That's why she's the ultimate judge. Let's go. Phonetically, the term natura is related to other terms and all having the same, again, the culture, the time, chronologically, names change. The concept never changed. The concept still the same concept, but we call it different names. Hope you understand that. I see the clock, I got to wrap this up. Jesus Christ. Now, such as the Latin natural, the Spanish naturalizar, naturalizar, the English nature or nutriment, etc. I can keep going, stop. But in real sense, as we will see, nature means nature, means what? Power. sustaining or manifesting as nature. That's what God's showing you, or we call Netaru. And the Netaru are the objects of creation, in essence, nature. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Oh, I'll be right back. I got some more stuff to tell you about Netaru. Now we moving, we grooving right now. In closing, right thinkers, me all there to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I know that my right thinkers have passed away, learning how to know themselves.